Hi dear students, this is a video to explain a little bit of the grammar we have already seen. Last class we checked about the creation of WH questions. Now I am going to go on about the structure of the WH questions. So we have for simple present with action verbs, the WH question, the auxiliary do or does, the subject, and the verb in simple form. Remember that the auxiliary does is going to be used for third person singular. For simple past with action verbs, you are going to have the WH question, the auxiliary did, the subject, and the verb in simple form. Remember not to use the verb in past because did is already the auxiliary that provides the tense, so it's not necessary. Then we have the past progressive for actions that were in progress in the past at a specific time in the past. Then we have the WH question, the auxiliary was or were depending on the subject of the sentence, and we have the verb ending in ing. For present progressive, actions in progress at the moment of speaking, we're going to have the WH question, the auxiliary am, is, or are, depending on the subject. Then we're going to have the subject and the verb ending in ing. For present perfect, we are going to use the WH question, the auxiliary has or have, the subject, and the verb in past participle. Remember that has is going to be used for third person singular and have for the rest of the pronouns and subjects. For past perfect, we are going to have the WH question, the auxiliary had, the subject, and the verb in past participle. Had is going to be used for all the subjects, including plural or singular. With future with will, we are going to have the WH question, the auxiliary will, the subject, and the verb in simple form. Will is a modal, so it doesn't affect the verb. The past or the present with the verb to be, we are going to create the WH question, the auxiliary am, is, or are, the subject, and sometimes the complement depending on the context of the question. For the past, we are going to use was or were plus the subject of the question. Remember that there are two kinds of questions. Yesterday we checked that there are some object questions and subject questions. Object questions have the format seen in the previous slides, and subject questions lack auxiliaries. You just have to copy the WH question and the rest of the sentence. There are also the embedded questions we checked yesterday. Remember that those questions are included in a phrase. So you have to start with the phrase. For example, you can say, I don't know where I can go. So it follows a format of a sentence. Here is an example with the verb to be. When you have the direct question, you have where is the nearest ATM. But when you have indirect question, you have the introductory phrase, can you tell me? Then the WH question, the subject, and the verb. When you have indirect questions with do, we are going to omit the auxiliary. It is not necessary any auxiliary do or does, or in the past did. You just use the subject and the verb corresponding for present or past. The same happens with the modals. It's an example here with can. So the direct question is, where can I take the bus? And the indirect question is, I was wondering where I can take the bus. Here are some sentences about the use of the vocabulary that is included in the book. The first sentence we have is, most little children are totally naive. Naive means usually when people believe anything they are told. My sister is really sensitive. I can argue with her because she gets affected by everything I say. When someone feels everything very deeply inside their minds and their feelings. Being arrogant is something I cannot stand because I hate it when people brag a lot about themselves. It's when people are extremely proud of what they are, and it tends to be extremely obsessive about what they have and what they have achieved. When I teach English, I am very passionate because I love what to do. Many people consider dogs are loyal beings, meaning that they are always by our sides. They are never going to betray us. That is what loyal means. An ambitious person wants to become successful and rich. There you have the definition included in the sentence. My husband is really optimistic about getting a visa to Europe. It's the same as in Spanish. And a self-confident person is someone who trusts in his or her own knowledge and abilities. That you can also observe in the book. You have all the words included in the vocabulary. Part of the vocabulary you also have some other verbs like give up, work out, have a go at, try out, make an effort, manage to, keep it up. Okay, so for the first verb, give up, we have the same, it is the same as quit. So when something, it is when sometimes you stop doing something, then you give up. Work out is when something succeeds or when something doesn't succeed. For example, you can say taking extra lessons worked out for me to get a better score. So it could be positive or negative depending on the context of the sentence. Have a go at is when you try something new. So you can say, I have a go at speaking in French in front of public. It's one of the examples. Try out is when you try something new. In this case, it's the same as the other verb. Make an effort is when you work hard on something. So when sometimes something is difficult for you to do, you make an effort to get better scores. For example, if you have a low score in a subject at the university. When you manage to is when you succeed in doing something, although it might be a little bit difficult. So then you manage to accomplish what you want to get at the end. Keep to is to avoid leaving or to follow. Yes. So once you have ability to do something, you can keep to it. You can keep doing it. Yes. And keep it up is to continue. It's kind of the same. Just you have to include the pronoun in this case or the object. Then we have the part of the use of make. Yes, so we can, when you can't decide on something, you can make up your mind. So when you have difficulties at deciding on doing something, then you have to use the verb make up. Make up your mind in this case. When you have a difficult time, but you're optimistic, you make the best of something. Although maybe you may be sad, you can take advantage of the things that are near you and make the best of getting a good score or having a good time with your family, etc., etc. When you have made something wrong in a relationship, you can make up with that person by giving him or her a present. Is when, for example, you have a girlfriend or a boyfriend, and then you can give that person flowers or something when you made something wrong. When you can distinguish or observe something clearly, you can't make out. Yes. And when you add or provide something extra to a place or a situation, you make a difference to it. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to work on your student's book on page 18, page 13, page 134, page 12, and page 154. Apart from that, you are going to be given some words from which you have to use them to create WH questions, in total 11 questions, and you are going to change those questions into embedded or indirect questions. And that would be all for now. And if you have a question, you know you can text me by WhatsApp and I can help you sorting out any kind of problem.